Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tacoma SRT5 here, doing the follow-up video. I've decided to do a reassembly, being that the details in the video were not too, the car was already apart. So I hope the step-by-step procedure helped you out a lot. If not, here is the reassembly process. Maybe you can watch it backwards and see how it comes apart. Doing this with my cell phone and one-handed, so just bear with me. First, we're going to put the throttle body back in place, which was going to be a challenge with one hand, so I've gotten one bolt started, the second bolt started, so that's already in place. This is number 3. You don't want to tighten one bolt when you've got something square like this until they're all in place. You don't want to just put one in and tighten it and hope that everything's in the right. See, there it goes. Now it sits. You want to leave the wiggle room so the bolt can go in smoothly and not cross-threaded. Bolt number 4, back down over here. Okay. This whole video is going to be in real time for anyone that might not be mechanically inclined. Hope this helps. If you are mechanically inclined, maybe you can hit fast forward or something. There's 1. I'm going to do one across from it. 2. 3 is here, and you don't want to tighten these too much. These are screwed into brass fittings that have been pushed into a piece of plastic. So just be careful with that. Snug. There's a rubber gasket on the back side of this that it's pressing against, so it doesn't need to be real tight. Just a couple of fingers. Plenty tight enough. Tighten number 3. You'll feel it. It's going to turn slowly, and then it's going to kind of stop. It's going to give you some more resistance. I like to tell people that aren't very car savvy that the car and the bolt will talk to you when you're pulling it tight, and then it gets a little harder to pull, and it's something as basic as this. Do not over tighten it. You will strip out those brass fittings in there. So you'll feel it get a little stiffer. Here we go. Now there's the plug that plugs into the throttle body, and this slider here is the one we've pulled back in order to squeeze this clip which comes out. So now we're going to do reverse, push it back into place. It's going to click, push the gray plastic piece back into place. Breather line, just shove. You can hear it click, maybe not. There it goes, clicked into place. Everything's set to go. Now we go back to this I called it in the description the vortec 4200 air box, because there's the factory air filter box. 2 different things. Make sure this hose clamp is still nice and loose, which it is. That'll make it easier to slide on. The bolt hole there. The bolt hole there for those 2 10mm bolts, and there's the vacuum line right here, and the breather right here for the top of the valve cover. Oh, and it's noon on Saturday. My kids will be screaming in just a second here. Get the vacuum line back on. Again, sorry for turbulence here. The one-handed thing is a little difficult. And push that back down. See, the hose slid right back down on there. Now we go up to the throttle body, the top, just kind of wiggle it around, work it on there. Now it's on. screwdriver, or that might be an 8mm, whatever your preference is. Again, it's going to talk to you. It's going to spin real easy, and then it's going to get hard. You can tighten that, you know, snug. I'm not going to give any torque readings or suggestions because I don't know them offhand. Now, this hose, this wire is connected to that. It's supposed to be there. I did not have to remove it, so I had forgotten to put it in the directions. But this is just a simple tab type mechanism, and it just squeezes shut. This one might be broken. Not entirely sure. Well, nope, there it goes. You can usually get in there with a screwdriver and pop them loose. Now there's your plug to the air tube. So let's go get our air tube. Excuse me, I'm a little congested. Allergies or something here. There's the sensor and the air tube. That goes into the air filter, and there's a little recession in the bottom of your air box / top of the washer fluid reservoir where that is going to go. Just wiggle around until it fits right perfect into place. You won't be able to slide it in or out, or maybe roll it a little bit, but this tube is just going to push back on. And one-handed here. There we go. Click. And we get our wire. Put that back on. Click. Push back the gray, I don't even know what that's called, a safety thing, so it doesn't accidentally come off. And wiggle that back into place. Make sure it's nice and square. You don't want it hold it under itself or anything. And back to tightening the other hose clamp. Okay, now just a little snug there, and get your mess out of the way. Sometimes you make messes. Just there you go. Air filter's in place, air tube is in place, everything's back the way it should be. Get the top of the air box. These hoses are going to kind of be a little bit of a pain, so I might have to set the phone down, but let's give it a shot. Just kind of work it around here. Nope, that was perfect. These screws will stay inside of the box. They're designed in such a way that once they're backed out all the way from what they screw into, they will not come out, so don't try to take them out, because you might lose them. That's just more hassle. Here we go. You can continue watching me with my screwdriver here. Screw number 1. And I'm breaking my own rule here. I shouldn't have tightened that all the way. Screw number 2. I always like to get all the screws in place, just in case you got to wiggle something in a certain direction. Get them in place first, and then tighten them down. Now this last screw is kind of a pain. I don't know if you can see it, if there's enough light. It's straight down. It's straight down. Let me see if I can... Hope you can see that. And now it's starting to rain on me here. But all the screws are in place, so I can tighten this one. The box is where it should be, not off kilter or anything. Okay, just snug. You don't want to torque it down because it's just screwing into a little piece of sheet metal that's around the back side. snug. And one last one here. Okay, it's all back together. I'm gonna go grab my wrench or my pliers here. And unfortunately, I don't know where my 8mm wrench is, so this is just doing it old school. I'm going to reconnect my battery. My computer will have reset by now. So when I turn the ignition on and I turn the car on, it might crank a little longer than usual. Sensor's getting used to things they haven't seen in a little bit. And again, here with the battery, you just want a little snug. The bolt is made out of steel, and where the bolt screws into on the battery is made out of lead, so that'll strip out fairly easily compared to other things. And now that's snug. Here we go, setting it down, battery's hooked up, everything's back together. Let's give this a shot. If you heard that, it turned over a little more than usual. Now AC on full blast. This is idling completely smoothly. Awesome. We did a good job. And now our throttle body's clean. Our engine can run a little more efficiently. Just take the next steps. I think what I'm going to do here next is a seafoam style engine fogging to get carbon deposits and buildup out of the inside of the engine. I don't have spark plugs, but I do plan on swapping them out, so I'll have to take the intake back off for that, but maybe that can be its own video too. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, be happy, have a good day. Hope this helped. Have a good one.